One of the major contributing factors to me getting fluent in Vietnamese as a busy adult while working a full-time job, all that stuff, has been tutoring sessions. Tutoring sessions are actually super useful if you use them the right way. The problem is most people don't use them the right way. Because when you think about it, so many people use tutors when studying a language, yet 99% of people never reach fluency in any language, let alone one as difficult as Vietnamese. So I'm going to break down what I personally do to get the most out of my tutoring sessions and what you can do to get the most out of your sessions as well based on your goals, your level, all that stuff. So let's get right into it. How to use tutoring sessions to get fluent quickly. All right, first we got to set some ground rules here, right? Because these are the main reasons why people don't get fluent with tutoring sessions, all right? Tutoring sessions are the supplement. Your individual study is what matters most. What do I mean by this? Basically, so many people, and including me when I first started studying Vietnamese, because tutoring sessions cost money and because you kind of view them as a replacement for classroom study and all this stuff, you tend to view them as your main source of getting good at the language, the main thing that you do to get good at the language. This could not be further from the truth. Tutoring sessions are an incredible supplement, but they themselves in their entirety will not get you fluent. Imagine trying to build the best body possible, right? Tutoring sessions are like the supplements, like the protein shake and the creatine and the vitamins you take after your workout. Imagine you probably met a person like this. Maybe you've been this guy, right? Like I've been there, right? Like imagine my dad is like this too. Imagine taking protein powder every single day and taking creatine and taking multivitamins literally every single day, but never going to the gym. Are you going to build that like incredible body that you've always wanted? No shot. It's just simply not going to happen, right? The same thing with tutoring sessions. Because it feels so good and because it does genuinely bring results with certain people who are doing certain other activities, you might think that you can just get fluent by just literally doing your one tutoring session a week, but it's just simply not going to happen. I did 2 tutoring sessions a week every week for about like 3 months, I think, maybe even more than that in Vietnamese. And of course I made progress. Right? Like, of course, if you go from like doing nothing to eating more protein, you might actually see like a little bit of results, right? But like at the end of the day, if you actually want to make that like genuine progress, that genuinely like life-changing fluency acquiring progress, you need more than just simply like tutoring sessions twice a week. So once you make the mindset shift of treating tutoring sessions as a valuable supplement rather than the main thing, now you're actually going to start making real progress. And now you might be asking, like, if tutoring sessions aren't the main thing and you don't recommend I enroll in classes or like, grind textbooks, then what should I actually do? Congratulations, this entire YouTube channel is dedicated to answering that question. But for now, let's move on and talk more about like, okay, now that you understand that tutoring sessions are the supplement, how do you actually use them to supplement your language learning? All right, so the second unbreakable rule is to align the sessions to your goals and your current routine. This is super important, right? So like, for example, if your main goal is to be able to communicate effectively, right, in terms of spoken communication, yet you're spending every single tutoring session doing things like grammar study, memorizing conjugation tables, reading long texts, it's going to help you. Like, you're going to get better, but like, it's just not the best use of your time. Same thing. Like, I always go back to like fitness examples because it's just so clear, right? Like, if your main goal is to run a marathon, training in the gym, yeah, it's going to help you. Like, you're going to build up like general athleticism and endurance, but like, it's not going to genuinely have like that real carryover to your main goal, which is running a marathon. When it actually comes for you to run that marathon and all you've been doing is like, lifting weights, you're going to have a rude awakening. You're not going to be able to do it, right? Same thing with the other way around, right? Like, if your main goal happens to be to like build like a really strong body and you just go running all day, when it actually comes time to compete in that bodybuilding show or that like lifting competition, whatever you're going to do horribly, right? Because you spent all your time running. Yes, running is beneficial, but that's not your goal, right? So like, really, like, you have to stop thinking about things in terms of how much benefit they have, period, and start thinking about things in terms of how much they actually benefit you to reach your goals. Because yes, if you study grammar with a tutor, you will get better at the language. Yes, if you read a textbook, you will get better at the language. If you go to a class, you will get better at the language. If you do Duolingo, you'll get better at the language. That type of thinking is like level 1 thinking, right? I want you to start thinking more in terms of like, relative to my personal goals, what will get me there as quickly as possible? What's the most bang for my buck relative to what I actually want to do with the language? And this is where the advice I'm about to give you really comes into play. The last thing I want to say is warm up. It's really important before a tutoring session to genuinely warm up, because I've found that like a lot of times I would just, throughout periods of my language learning career, I would just wake up, roll out of bed, and immediately go to the tutoring session. Again, it's better than nothing, but I found that the better I can perform in my tutoring session, the more benefit I get out of the session in general. It kind of makes sense when you start to think about it, right? But like those sessions where I just perform horribly and it's so embarrassing and I say all these words wrong and I basically end up just like waiting for it to be over because I'm doing so bad. I feel like I don't walk away with that with a lot of things, but I found that the sessions where I'm at the pinnacle of my game, I'm speaking fluently, I'm really attentive, and I'm actually like, I'm able to pick up so many more words, and it's able to have like a more lasting impact. And it's one of those like self-perpetuating cycles where the more fluent you are within that session, like within the confines of your tutoring session, the more fluency training you get. Because if you're like speaking very fluently throughout the session, you're really like experiencing what it's like to be able to speak fluently, and you're able to say more words during that session, and you're able to have better conversations, which just leads to you getting better. Whereas like if you're really like struggling and fumbling and just having a really off session, you're going to just simply get less out of that session. So I would recommend like the specific warm-up routine that I do is I literally will just go on my flashcard system. Even if you don't do flashcards, you can do this with YouTube. But basically, just listen to native speakers like say things and just repeat after them. Literally just do that for like 5 to 10 minutes. I sometimes even will go 30 minutes before my tutoring session. And I found that like by doing this listen and repeat work, I've kind of warmed up my ears to the sound of the language. So I'm able to like, better listen to what my tutor is saying. I've warmed up my voice, my rhythm, and I've kind of like put my brain into Vietnamese mode because I mostly do tutoring sessions for Vietnamese, right? So like when you go into a tutoring session with an English brain, it often will feel like very frustrating and cumbersome. But when you go into it already with a Vietnamese brain or whatever language you're studying, I find that it's just a lot smoother. So those are my 3 unbreakable rules for tutoring sessions. Now that you understand that and you know how that can benefit you, how can you actually apply these rules and like how can you actually put into practice tutoring sessions that are going to genuinely transform your language ability? So it's all based on your goals. So I'm going to go through like a bunch of different like examples relative to goals, right? And so one of these is probably going to be your main goal, and you can kind of just take the advice from the specific goal that I give. So if your main goal is listening, there's a couple things you can do. I've found that like just having a regular conversation is super good. And the more you care about listening, the more you can kind of tell your tutor like, oh, I mostly want to focus on listening. So like, yeah, we'll have a conversation, but I want you to be talking most of the time. And the more you actually care about like practicing your fluency and your speaking, you can kind of say the opposite. Where like, oh, like let's have a conversation, but let me talk most of the time, like 70% of the time, so I can work on my speaking, but also at the same time get some bonus listening work in, really relative to your goals, right? So literally just like this is just so underrated. I do this all the time with my tutors. I'll just be like, all right, let's just have a conversation. And I did this for like a couple months with one of my tutors, and literally like in the beginning of those couple months and at the end of those couple months, my ability to just sustain a conversation was just drastically different. I went from like, yeah, I could hold a conversation, but it was like really, really tough and cumbersome, to at the end of those couple months, I felt more comfortable. Yes, it's still going to be like difficult. Don't get me wrong. Like you're not just going to go from like a very cumbersome conversation to an effortless one in just a couple months. That's really not realistic. But you can definitely like week after week noticeably feel yourself having an easier time in the conversation, right? And also this like depends on your level, right? Like if you're like a very beginner, then having a conversation might not be really realistic for you, especially if you like to book like 1 hour long tutoring sessions. You having an hour long conversation is just like, might not just be realistic at that point. Then you could do something like crosstalk, which is free, by the way. You don't have to pay for it. What crosstalk is basically like you find like some kind of platform where it'll match you up with somebody who's learning English and who wants to practice their English listening. Who wants to practice their English listening, right? So then it kind of becomes a mutually beneficial type of thing where nobody has to pay any money. And basically you just speak English to them and you guys have a conversation and they speak your target language to you. Oh, my light died. That sucks, but we're going to keep going. So that's kind of how that works. So based on your level, I would recommend crosstalk if you're a beginner and having a regular conversation if you're intermediate and above, right? The benefits of this, as opposed to just like watching a YouTube video for listening practice, you can, by the way, I'm not saying like, again, the tutoring sessions are the supplement. They're not the main thing. So of course, if your main goal is listening, you really should be listening to a lot of YouTube videos, shows, podcasts, whatever that may be. Definitely do that. And the majority of your time should be spent doing that. However, you get so much from doing this through a tutoring session because you have better connection because you're actually talking to a real person, right? And you actually, there's more focus too because they could ask you questions. That's the thing about tutoring sessions. Like when you're watching a YouTube video, you have some incentive to pay attention because you might care about the content, but a tutor could literally ask you a question at any point. They could turn any conversation to a question. And so you have so much incentive to listen because you don't want to look bad when they ask you a question suddenly, right? You have more focus because of that same reason. And also there's more variety and customizability because with a tutor, oftentimes, especially if it's like a good tutor, they know what you like. Like after like a couple sessions, they can really get like a grasp of like what you know and what you don't know, like generally what your level is. A YouTube video may not be the case. Like you have to like really put in a lot of work to find a YouTube video that's like perfectly comprehensible at your level, whereas a tutor can just adjust on the fly. So basically they can deliver you that perfect comprehensible input, basically giving you speech at the perfect level, saying just the right amount of new words. So where like you're basically getting like perfect comprehensible input from them, right? So that's super important. And that's why I think if your main goal is listening, supplementing with a couple tutoring sessions a week is very, very beneficial. It has been for me, and I think it will be for you too. Next is accent training. If you really want to boost your accent. And now again, I want to emphasize with accent work, the majority of the work should be done on your own, like really listening and repeating, recording yourself, comparing your recording to the recording of the native speaker, and continuing all that stuff. But you can also spend some of your tutoring session time with accent training too. Basically, there's a couple ways you could do this. You could just read out loud, and anytime you say a word wrong or like a letter, you pronounce like a letter wrong, they'll be able to correct you. And that's super valuable because you can actually see the letters on the page, right? So like if there's like a certain letter in the script that you're always saying a little bit wrong, they'll catch on to that. And then you can kind of like correct it in real time with them, which is super valuable. Another thing is like without like any kind of reading at all involved, this is like super powerful for your listening ability as well. But listen and repeat after them. Just have them say like, oh, give me like some like common phrase that you think I would benefit from. And then they'll say the phrase, and then you listen and repeat after them. And then when you do that, they'll tell you like, okay, this sound that you made on the second word was a little bit off. You need to say it more like this. Or like, especially with tutors, like as opposed to YouTube videos, they can tell you like, oh, your mouth looked wrong when you said that. You're supposed to say ooh, not ooh, right? Or it's like something like that, right? Like they can literally correct you on a much deeper level than sometimes you can get from YouTube videos. So that's super helpful. And then again, if you're more advanced, you can literally just have a regular conversation and you're going to have accent slips, right? Like no matter how advanced you are, unless you're like a 10 out of 10 fluent speaker, which you're probably not if you're watching this video, but just a regular conversation, you're going to have accent slips and they can just correct it there. That's going to reinforce the proper accent, right? Next up for just fluency, like let's just say you're kind of like in a similar position to me. Like this is my position in Vietnamese. I'm a B2, I'm a fluent speaker, I'm B2 level, but my biggest weakness with the language is not necessarily my lack of vocabulary or my lack of comprehension. My biggest weaknesses with the language is to be able to say long arguments in a very natural, fluid Vietnamese type of way. I'll often say things that just kind of sound like direct English translation in Vietnamese, if you know what I mean. Or I'll pause very often and I'll stutter, even when I know what I need to say, when I know the words, I will just struggle to like come up with them on the fly sometimes, right? So like my just raw ability to be as fluent as possible is what's my lagging indicator right now for Vietnamese. And so the best thing for this is literally just with a tutor, of course, is just regular conversations, but make sure that they give you strict corrections because there's oftentimes things that you can say that a Vietnamese person will easily understand. However, it still sounds unnatural, right? Like imagine if you say like, give me mine book, like any English speaker will understand you instantly, but on the inside, they'll cringe a little bit because what you said was very, very unnatural. So there are tutors out there who just like, unless you tell them, they just won't correct you. As long as you can be understood, they think it's a W. But if you really want to get like more fluent, you need to be like not only willing to be corrected on a minor level, but you need to encourage your tutor to correct very minor mistakes that don't affect comprehension, but definitely affect how fluent and natural you sound. And because of like, my tutors doing this for me, I've made huge progress in this area. I'm going to continue to make pretty big progress in this area. All right, reading. This is actually something that I've personally implemented recently for my Japanese. I only did it a couple times. I might consider doing this again in the future, but it was really cool. Basically, I was just reading out loud and having the tutor read after me. So this is really good at correcting your internal monologue because when you read out loud, you very quickly find out that your accent is not as good as you thought it was, right? And so this was not accent work though. So like I wasn't like, once the native Japanese speaker read the sentence, I didn't like listen and repeat after him or anything. Like we were literally just reading a manga together. And often with Japanese, it's a particularly difficult language to read because there's like characters instead of like just letters. And so there were often characters I didn't know how to read. He would just read them for me. And then there were often like character things that I would read with like a little bit of a weird accent, like a pitch accent, or I would like read it wrong. Like I would like read the character, but I would say the wrong reading of the character, and he would just correct me. And every panel that we got done reading, because like manga is like comics, right? So like every panel of the comic that we finished reading, he would read the whole thing on himself by himself. That way, like whatever busted accent that I just read it out loud with, I would get the input of the correct reading to like really fix my internal monologue of the language, which is super valuable if your main goal is reading. Because if your main goal is reading, then you don't want to be reading busted Japanese in your head. You want to be reading like good native Japanese, as close to it as possible in your head. Another thing is like explaining unknown words. Like I found that in general, like when I'm reading manga in Japanese, there's a lot of words that I don't know, because while I may be fluent in Vietnamese, in Japanese, I'm still very much like low intermediate to like high beginner level, around there, right? And so if I want to read like a native comic book, like a manga, there's so many words I don't understand. And so I have three options, right? Like either I tolerate ambiguity and I just read it, which for me, I can do that with watching shows, but for reading, I find it's very difficult to tolerate ambiguity. Then there's like looking up almost everything, which can be exhausting. And then there's a third option, which is just reading with a native speaker. And it's not like you're like looking up all the words in the dictionary. Like they will literally just tell you like, oh, this sentence means that. And then you can just keep reading. So it's super fun. You can get like tons of free flow reading work in without having to worry about like tolerating ambiguity or like looking up words. So if you're interested in like, if your main goal is reading, I would highly recommend considering reading with a native speaker. It's just super fun and super valuable as well, I think. Vocabulary. This is something that I'm currently using right now. So I'm going to Vietnam in September. And my situation with Vietnamese is very funny because like I can watch like entire lectures in philosophy in Vietnamese and understand basically like almost everything. Like literally I will watch philosophy lectures regularly and come out with that like understanding, like fully digesting the arguments and fully digesting the points they were making. However, there's a bunch of like random stuff that I definitely need for real life that I don't know, because as a result of basically the main content that I consume in Vietnamese being gaming and philosophy content, it's like this weird dynamic. So I'll give you a couple examples so you can kind of know what I mean. Like the other day, my tutor taught me the word for cart, as in like your Amazon cart. Like I knew how to say like shopping cart, right? But like I didn't know how to specifically say Amazon cart, right? So like that was just like a word that you definitely need for daily conversation, right? Like if you're like in Vietnam and you have a friend and you want to order something, like, oh, put it in my cart, you need to know how to say that, right? But like I didn't know how to say it. I knew how to say shopping cart or like, but like just not the online cart, right? The gas indicator, like, you know, like the needle that like indicates how much gas you have left. I learned how to say that in Vietnamese recently, which I didn't know before. So super cool way to like increase your vocabulary without having to worry about grinding more flashcards and all that stuff. All right, so that was just like a ton of information I just threw at you. So in order to like really like optimize this and kind of like package it into like one actionable thing that you can do to really get genuine benefit from this video, I would recommend you pick one specific like domain to grind, like accent, fluency, listening, reading. You basically grind that thing solo, right? And if you don't know how to do that, just watch my channel. I have tons of videos on how to grind each of these things. And then you supercharge the grind with native feedback. And then also like whatever you're really studying, let's just say like, for example, you're studying like car-based stuff that I was just talking about, right? So like grind that with a tutor, grind it solo, of course. And then also like as much as possible, listen to content about that while you're doing other things. Like let's just say like you're driving your car and you're listening to like a video about like this guy, he's like fixing a car. And so you get to hear like a bunch of car parts in your target language, right? Et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't have to be car parts. Obviously, that's super random, but like whatever it is for you, really just grind that. Like honestly, if I were you right now, I would like pause this video and maybe like spend the next 10 minutes, like write down like specifically, okay, what's the main thing you want to work on? Accent, fluency, listening, reading, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How are you going to use tutoring sessions to support that? How are you going to grind that on your own? And how are you going to use passive listening to support that as well? Honestly, you do that, you're going to make it so far these next couple months, and your language ability might just be like literally unrecognizable. So if you found all of this like super helpful, which I'm sure you have, consider checking out the top link in the description. It's the Language Learning Lab. There's tons of courses on there related to language speedrunning, focus, language acquisition, a bunch of language learning resources, all that stuff, right? Basically, how to get fluent as quickly as possible as a busy adult. So tons of exclusive content. And then also every week we do a group call where I answer your guys' questions and help you guys build out your own personal routines that support like your own personal language learning goals. So if you're interested, it's top link in the description. Currently right now, it's like a one-time price that's like pretty cheap. And you basically get lifetime access like for life, even though I'm going to be continuously adding content over the next like couple years, right? So it's a super good deal. So check that out, top link in the description. But besides that, One thing I didn't really talk about much is grammar. And this is like pretty interesting because most people use tutoring sessions to learn grammar. And I just made like an entire video on tutoring sessions and didn't even talk about grammar. So if you want to know what I think is the best possible way to learn grammar, click this video right here on screen. I think it's going to be super helpful for you. All right. Thank you for listening.